That second song that I kind of tied into was a song that I composed for one of my modern musical inspirations. And I mentioned her before, Kim Collingsworth. I'm just astounded with her story because it's almost it's a little bit similar to mine, except she was 3 when she started. She had a year extra before me, well, many years, but she started a little bit earlier than I did. And she has made such an impression on me musically that I don't try to strive to be, just like her, because I never compare myself to other people, especially as a musician, because everyone has their own unique story and their own way of expressing themselves musically. And when I saw her and her family in concert back in April of this year, I went up to her and my friend that was with me that day, we were waiting in line to speak with her after the concert, and she took one look at me and she said, "You're Josh, right?" And inside I'm screaming because, she's with the Gaither music groups and such, her and her family are, and because I composed a song for her, that song that I just played, which is actually out on all music streaming platforms, but she thanked me for the song, and my friend's just standing there complete, like I'm telling you, if his jaw dropped any further than it did, it would have stayed that way. Because he's like, wow, you know a celebrity? And I'm like, well, acquaintances at most, but I asked her for her autograph because she wrote a book. And she said, yeah, of course. And she wrote in Matthew 6:33. She didn't know it, but I really did need that reminder. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. It's Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added unto you. At that time in my life, I was really struggling spiritually. I wasn't sure where I was with my faith with God at that point. But that reminder right there, and I have it forever in a book. And, I have spoken with their office manager, a few times afterwards, just to get some ideas. And they're actually one of the reasons why I took that first step into getting myself out there more, with getting my music out there, like on Spotify, Pandora, YouTube Music, and all that fun stuff. And I'm even working with a music production company as well, which is something one of the small goals towards the ultimate goal for me, which is to become a full-time musician. I would love to go touring and perform all the time. But of course, a necessary thing we have to have in today's world, of course, is finances. And me doing these concerts are helping me also build the confidence in myself to go out and do this more. And I never thought in a million years I would do 2 concerts once every week, back to back. That was really awesome how everything played out that way. And I think I'm going to switch gears here and play a song that my lovely grandma, who is 95 now, and she's still around here hanging out. Well, not hanging out with us, but she's still here. And she asked me to always remember her and play a song for her. She actually said this back when we last saw her back in May, or at the end of May or early June. She told me to play a song for her at my next concert, and her favorite song is Amazing Grace. Every time I play that song, I go back at all the memories that I have with my grandma. I really do miss those days because sometimes they just seem to seamless, like we had no care in the world. And she definitely taught all of us kids a lot of many great lessons. And I think we're actually going to see her after the concert, which would be really nice. And then I get to tell her, guess what, Grandma? I played your favorite song. But I don't know too many people that have made it into their 90s. But I do know that every year that they've earned all of them. And I've only been around for 27 years, but I know I worked hard for some of these anyway. And again, I want to take a second and thank all of the staff here at First United Methodist Church. I have had such a wonderful time here, especially during this concert. I mean, this is, first of all, one of the biggest sanctuaries I've ever been in. But the sound that comes from this beautiful piano, it just carries. And I want to thank Pastor Mona as well as James that's doing sound right now. And I believe you said your name is Tom? Todd, I'm so sorry, I was close. And I want to thank Karen Vandermolen, who is the secretary here. Or Karen, not Carrie. But I'm going to continue playing some music for you, and I hope you enjoy it. So that's just a small glimpse of what it's like to watch Josh practice, or having his own musical me time. I don't know how to really explain that. But sometimes I just get lost in music. Like, you know how you're in the car and you're listening to some great old jams and you just get lost in that moment. Well, that's me every time that I play the piano. I just let the music flow. And it doesn't have to, necessarily lead from one song to another. Sometimes it's just a chord progression that had been running through my head, or a song that I had always wanted to learn, and I just sit there and pick it out on the piano, like this one. I just did that. All right. So there's actually a song that I have always liked to listen to, and it's a bit more contemporary. I don't know how well this is going to go, but as long as the spirit's flowing, shouldn't go too bad. Are we all aware of Bethel Music? Hillsong United worked directly with them. So they sang a song, and I'm trying to find it in the right key because I'm not going to play it in A flat. But we're going to go ahead and play I'm going to go ahead and play a more contemporary song, The Goodness of God. God is so great, isn't he? Works miracles every day. You know, as I'm sitting here looking at these beautiful decorations, I've played in this sanctuary during the day, and the amount of natural light that just beams in here, it's almost like God is just standing right there. And I have to say, that's the greatest audience to have, is to have the Almighty Creator just standing there, just looking and listening. I apologize, my right hand is starting to throw a little fit on me for some reason, but you know what? I'm going to keep going because I love performing. And this was actually a song that a friend of mine who actually lives in Florida, he's like, hey, can you play the Little Drummer Boy for me? And sometimes when I listen to, there's many versions of that song on the radio that you hear, but the one that I grew up on, I can't exactly remember who was singing it, but it was from, I think the version came from like the 50s or 60s, but that's the version that you'll be hearing from me tonight. on that note, there is no mountain that we can't climb. Continue climbing every mountain. Thank you all again so much for coming out tonight. It has been quite just the biggest honor to be able to come out here and do this for you all. I'm going to continue doing these types of performances and possibly bigger someday. I hope you all have a blessed week and a Merry Christmas. Thank you.